Whoa, welcome to the Pretty Red ENT show. How you guys doing today? I hope you're doing great. All right, so you know what? Today is just a random day. I kind of want to talk about this Mercury retrograde, let y'all know what's going on, what's about to happen. It's in Capricorn and the different things about this communication. So when Mercury retrograde comes up, depending on what sign it is, what it's doing, it has an impact. Now, I've been feeling this Mercury retrograde for some weeks now, post shadow period. Oh, it got busy. Oh, it's getting busy at the end of this year. And it starts off the beginning of 2023, according to the Western calendar. Yeah, it's about to get serious. Okay. And I want to let y'all know this, and I'm here to help y'all out through this Mercury retrograde. So let me tell you the first thing what I've noticed, because sometimes I just sit back and I see how I need to communicate, where I need to communicate at. How do I need to place it? So what I noticed this theme of this Mercury retrograde is sometimes there is hidden things in conversations that need to be talked about. That's what this Mercury retrograde is going to bring about, those hidden conversations. Sometimes it's conversations where people bounded you to things. Sometimes it's where some stuff that you didn't even know that it was bounding you there. Oh, this Mercury retrograde going to reveal all of that. It's going to give you the mental clarity that you need to be successful. Okay, moving forward. Okay, I'm here to tell y'all my side of the story. I'm here to give you my point of view and my point of view only. I can't give you nothing else other than that. But what I will say to y'all is this. It's about to go retrograde on the 29th, which is today. I'm recording this December the 29th, 12:35 a.m. I'm just letting y'all know. This Mercury retrograde is really going to, if you sit back and you actually work with the energy, you don't work against it. What it's going to show you is things that where you used to be tied to, your bondage with communication, how you used to communicate with certain people. If you elevate it, some of the people that's coming into your life now is giving you an example of what you need to let go. Okay? Some of the communication that you need to let go. Some people don't understand that, but that plays a big part on what you got going on in this lifetime so far. And you'd be like, what are you talking about? Let me keep it real with you. Let me be honest with you, okay? When communicating with people, and I say this all the time because it's imperative that y'all know this and what I'm saying. When communicating with a person, how I break this down, man, it'd be tough sometimes during Mercury retrograde. And people be like, oh, sometimes it do. Sometimes like I can be writing a paper. Mercury retrograde messes with everything. I could be in the middle of writing a paper and it'd be good, but it's like, I didn't write this word right here. How did this word get right here? I just read over this paper. Like, how did this one word get Mercury retrograde? That's the only thing I do is blame it on that. Sometimes your phone might send crazy messages to people and it'll spring up a conversation. I didn't want to talk to you. So I think the part about this Mercury retrograde is showing you certain things. Now, certain things that even that people might attach themselves to you. Oh, it's coming out. Okay, like, oh my gosh. And please believe those exes who has their throat chakra blocked. Oh, it's definitely getting unblocked, boo. It's unblocked today. You don't believe me? Oh, baby, I'm here to tell my side of the story. Y'all don't understand. Like I said this, and I keep telling people, I said, I got every guy I have ever talked to that's still living, okay? Because the guys who, that's still living, my whole thing to that situation, when they're talking to me, I'm like, are they serious right Look, I didn't even know you felt like that. and that communication, they have to unblock that throat chakra. With this one, they're unblocking it because there's a lot of things going on. Mars is still retrograding with Gemini. Hello. That's communication. That's mental clarity. That's like Mars and Gemini is like God is down here hitting the block, paying attention to people doing stuff like, I gave you a chance. You should have backed out. When this planet starts to go at full speed, when it's just stopped for a second and collected debris, and it starts spinning to go a normal rotation, y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. That's God hitting the block, okay? That's God down here. Hey, baby, I got karma with me. So people with Mars and Gemini, they know what I'm talking about. But anyways, make a long story short, this is what I will say. Mercury is the planet of communication. It rules communication, and it's in the Earth sign right now. It's in Capricorn. So we're kind of like, So right now it's about mental clarity, getting the things that you need to know. Capricorn can attach you to certain things. So like even if you think about a Capricorn, you think about the tarot deck, what card represents the Capricorn card in a tarot deck? That's the devil card. And most people are like, oh my gosh. I'm like, dude, it's a devil. It's showing you that you have unhealthy attachments, or you have an attachment to you that you might not known about. And that's where these things come about. You're talking to someone. I remember, this is the craziest thing. I remember I was in this room, even though I'm not supposed to be getting read by other people, right? I was in this room. I was like, she's like, oh, you want to read? I was like, nah, I'm cool. She's like, please just let me read you. I was like, all right, go ahead. She gave me a reading. She's like, yeah, so you and your relationship. I guess you and dude just, I said, what relationship are you talking about? I don't even know who this person is that you're speaking of. So what do you mean about a relationship? Because the last time I checked, I was single. So what relationship are you talking about that I don't know about? So there could be people and guys holding this attachment to you. Imagine if they really think in their mind that you're their woman, even though you have no clue that you're their woman. Now, here's the twist. And people are like, well, they technically can't do this. Some spiritual people will argue with that. But here goes the twist. Here goes the kicker. I'm about to hit you with something good. What happened if the kicker is this? If I'm talking to someone and I have sex with this person, so now we know each other sexually, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want this to be my woman, but they don't express that to you verbally. They'd rather keep that inside. You, a high vibrational person, you're going to feel like they're hiding something. Whether it's good or bad, they're not speaking their truth. Like, how do you really feel? And I always got a habit to where I can tell, like, if people are praying for me. I know if you're praying for me. I can tell that. I know your prayer you're saying. That's a different conversation, a different day. But I can feel like if you're trying to manifest me in your timeline, and I don't want to be there, I'm not supposed to be there. And so that's the thing, too. Like, I'm telling you this, one time I was dealing with this dude, and I'm like, dude, I just saw you manifest me in your life, and that's not how this is going to work out. I don't see me and you ever going toe to toe like that. Like, I'm cool. But my thing is that the fact that you thought that this was going to happen. So I'm really concerned about, why did you feel like this was going to happen? And how do you ask me if I wanted to be with you like that and that long? Which is fine and dandy. It's just the way how you're doing it. It's so impacting that I've never seen it being done like that. But now I can. That's really weird. No, I don't like you like that. I'm only here to teach you love. What I will do is show you that, hey, there is love out here. There's real love. The person that you asked for, there is a person out here that can meet every ounce of your requirements. But are you willing to drop some of that? So that's what I mean by like communicating. Like, this Mercury retrograde finna bring some things out, guys, and these attachments to people, or people have to you. Like, some people might pray to you. You don't even know this. Like, listen, what do you mean by like some people might pray to you? Say, for instance, most guys don't know they do this, but spiritual women, Spiritual woman, guys. We know this, okay? Like, listen, you can have a guy sit up here with your picture, and let's take a guy that's in prison. A guy that's in prison got your picture, and he's mad. You quit talking to him. So now he's sitting there with your picture for real, singing to it, crying to it. Like, oh, I really need you. Oh, I really want you. Like, oh, you're just this person that I really want, and this and this and that. Okay. What just happened? This man just did a whole spiritual, and this is not funny, but it's funny. This man just did like a whole spiritual thing with you. Don't even know that, like, he's praying to you. Like, and he's like, now he's talking to God. Oh, God, I just want this girl to be for me. Can you just save her for me? You know what I'm saying? His Bryce, you just save her for me. I'm like, you asking God for a favor, and your favor is, I want this one woman. And so now it's like, if you've been doing things right, God kind of like, well, I kind of got to bless you with that, but I'm also with free will when it comes to love. So she has to be open to it too. So if she's not open to it, then I just saved her for no reason. And I don't think that's fair on her behalf. And so that's what some things that most people don't know what plays out at the end of the day when people do this. Like, even when people do love spells. We're going to talk about love spells on my next one. Because I definitely want to talk about that because, I got a story. But just to stay on topic with this, I'm just saying to y'all, like, guys be doing the same thing besides they don't know, like most spiritual people, we do that. And so some people be like, oh, well, how many times have you cried and you looked at a person's picture? Feel me, whether you're a guy or a woman. Some guys won't admit it, but they do it all the time from what I heard from a lot of males that are honest. Hey. They do this all the time, and it's not nothing bad. It's more or less, it's just saying like, hey, I understand you. I get you. I hear you. As a black man, I hear y'all. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I don't hear white men, but I'm saying I'm more attracted to black men. I'm not saying that whatever race or culturally you are black, like I love black men. I'm not saying that I don't like any other race. I'm just clearing that up so that way we don't have problems here. But just saying in general, like, this is how I feel about my situation. But when I talk to people, when I'm telling them about different things and how to work with this Mercury retrograde energy, the thing not to do is any communication that comes up that you need to communicate about, communicate with it. Pay attention on how you're communicating. Pay attention to the question that's being brought up, because the questioning can lead to something that was buried that needs to get unburied and get put into the light so that way it can go away. And now you can move forward because that clears out a space of your throat chakra. That clears out space in your energy field. It clears out space in your mind. Get it out the way. Do not wait. Do not hold back. Oh, and if you're going through this retrograde, very important, because I want to let y'all know something. If you're going through this retrograde where you're having any male you ever talk to come back and hit you up for y'all to have clear-cut communication, like, I don't want you. I'm okay. You're good. As long as you're in this Mercury retrograde and this circle or movement of telling them, I don't want you, you're not who I desire. Guess what happens when that happens? The universe said, oh, you're now denying the people that's not supposed to be around you. You're now speaking to the universe, telling the universe exactly the kind of people you want to come into your life. What does this also lead you to? A higher timeline. What does this also help you with? This helps you out with you receiving the things that you're supposed to receive. This puts you right on time. So I always tell people, like, what I usually do during Mercury retrograde, I try to just not try to communicate, just to see where I need to communicate at. I just slightly touch it. Sometimes I don't touch it. I don't indulge, not unless I'm told to. Like, hey, time is now. Speak. I speak and I go in and I don't stop and it'd be great. And people are like, oh my gosh, I love you. Like, yes. Sometimes I just sit back just to listen. And when I listen, that lets me know that I can actually hear what someone is trying to say. So make a long story short, what I'm going to try to say this is there and this is now. Is that with this Mercury retrograde, please guys, you're going to have anybody that you used to talk to. If there's any communication that needs to be talked about, it will be talked about, whether it's good and whether it's bad. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of secrets revealed. And when I mean that, Capricorn is an earth sign, okay? And it's in Mercury. So you got to understand some things that was buried deep down in that dirt that was left a secret is now coming up. And it's being sprung out of the ground. It's no longer growing to a beautiful flower. It's not transitioning. It's coming out, and it's going to let you know what was hidden will now be revealed. So pay attention. This Mercury retrograde is, let me check the calendar real quick, so that way I can be very precise when I'm talking to y'all about it, because I always like to have my calendar up. So I know it starts on December the 29th. Let's see, retrogrades right here. Well, Astro Matrix is the app that I keep up with. Okay. So Mercury in Capricorn goes from December the 29th to January the 23rd. Okay. Pay attention. Because even after the 23rd, okay, you have still 2 weeks of the post-shadow period. Oh, it's about to get real. That's the only thing I'm going to say. It's going to get real. And after that 2 weeks is up, yeah, you're going to see things go back. It's going to go back smoother than ever. You're going to be in advance. If you're working with the energy, okay? Also, you have Mars and Gemini. Now, Mars and Gemini has been retrograding, and I'm going to make sure y'all pay attention, since October the 30th. It's now going to go out of retrograde January the 11th. So you have a few things. Mercury and Mars are kind of coming close out together, out of retrograde. So you got to pay attention what's going to happen, boy. It's going to be swift changes. When I say swift, just think about, like, if you're single and you know what I'm talking about. Y'all single one want to be around Mercury time. If y'all paying attention, my spiritual women or my non-spiritual women, if you pay attention during Mercury, you notice that these lovers come back. Pay attention this time. Have those conversations so that way you can see what secret is going to be revealed. Somebody has a big secret that's going to be revealed. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be like, what? Nah. Also, another thing coming out of retrograde is Uranus, I believe. Let me double check that. It's Uranus is in Taurus, and that's been in retrograde since August the 24th. So, yeah, that's going to come out of retrograde January 22nd. So all of these are like taking place around each other besides the Mars and Gemini. So the Mars and Gemini comes out of retrograde January 11th. It's about 6 days afterwards, Mercury is. And then after Mercury, it's like 4 days. And then Uranus is coming out of retrograde. So then we won't have any more planets in retrograde all the way up into Mercury again in Taurus. Ooh. Yes, they did. Get ready. So I'm going to tell y'all, like, listen, it's a theme for 2023 is what I'm seeing. And the thing that I'm seeing is it's a lot of earth. It's going to be a lot of love. It's a lot of expression of love. So Please get ready to have this communication with these people, with yourself. See how you can communicate better. A lot of times, like you can see, like, hey, maybe I need to communicate a little bit better right here. How I'm talking right here. Maybe this ain't how I should talk right here. Maybe this isn't how I should do this right here. Maybe I should imply more emphasis here or there. Like, pay attention. This is the time where you just need to pay attention to how you communicate and how you get it out. And so I really think that this will help everyone out with this Mercury retrograde, because I know some people, they think that that's the only planet that impacts people. Yeah, this Mars retrograding really impacted me. I don't know about y'all, but yeah, this Mars, it's had no cap on where I would go with my anger. And so I had to learn how to deal with my aggression different. If you're dealing with people and they're just like on the edge, that's because Mars is retrograding. And you have to learn when it's in Mars, you have to know that it's in Gemini. You got to learn how to deal with that. And your mentals, be mental, whether it be physical, you're going to have to work out the inner you and do the things that you need to do. But if you have did anything, I suggest you know that you're wrong, go back and apologize for it. You want to go back and apologize for it before it starts going normal, because baby, that's God going to be hitting the block. And people going to be looking like, woo, what's going on? God, the universe, whoever you believe in, higher power, Mother Earth, they are going to be hitting that block. And when we say hitting that block, people, we mean they going to be hitting the block. And that's just it. So I really hope that y'all all tap in, do the work, pay attention how you're communicating, even pay attention how you're communicating with love. Pay attention to the things that's about to spring up out the ground and the communication. Something underneath it needs to get talked about. It's just like saying, oh, I don't like your shirt, but technically you really don't like me. So what's going to happen is during Mercury retrograde, what this looks like is this person might say they dislike you so much in a conversation to the point where you're going to ask, do you like me? And that's the key thing to this Capricorn being in Mercury. It's going to unearth those things and bring them to life, bring them out the ground, and to get rid of it. Because obviously you don't even need to be connected to this person. This person really doesn't like you. There's nothing that you can do to make this person like you. So that's just a whole nother thing, guys. Just get ready for this Mercury retrograde. Get the communication out that you need to get out. Allow these people to be who they need to be and where they need to be at. And that's okay. But the main thing that you need to do is learn how to communicate. Communicate healthy, communicate lovely, communicate for peace. Like, that's the biggest thing that we as people need to understand, is how to communicate with people to even get peace. Because peace comes in the morning. It doesn't come at nighttime. It doesn't come at any other time besides in the morning. And so once you learn that, you learn a very valuable thing that no one can take from you. So get ready for this Mercury retrograde and pay attention to the questions being asked and how you respond. That's the theme of this Mercury retrograde. It's revealing things that you need to know. Some people bound you to them. Sometimes you bounded people to them. Sometimes you might have bounded yourself to someone during sex. Okay, guys? Let's talk about that before I end this. Sometimes a communication might need to happen, because I remember now listen to this. Nicki Minaj has a song. She said, every time I fuck 'em, I be like, whose is it? Now, my past life was kind of, I just did that just because. I'm not saying that, hey, I did that because of the Nicki Minaj song. No. Sometimes I did that to, like, take ownership over a guy's mind. Hey, I'll tell you that it's yours just so that way you can give me what I want. But at the same time, what happens is that you kind of gave away your pussy power. So people are like, what? Like, yes, let's call it what it is. Let's call it a spade a spade. It is what it is. But this is what happens. So imagine the reason why these guys keep coming back around during Mercury retrograde. And I remember the last guy I was in a sexual relationship with, because I have to say it was a sexual relationship, and we would talk about these sexual relationships, and I will give y'all an example through me. And he's more than willing for me to say his name, so I definitely can say it and be all right when talking about it. But at the end of the day, how I want to say this is that when you're telling a guy that it's his, you bound yourself to him, okay? He took your power. You gave your power away. So when y'all depart, the thing is, you still got to go claim back what's rightfully yours. So Mercury retrograde will have this question being done over. And it's like, what he used to say to me, bro, he used to be like, I would text him and say one thing. And then this dude would say, I'll be like, why are you texting me for? Like, you have a baby mom. Why are you texting me? Like, you cool, like you have a whole girlfriend, why are you texting me? And this man says to me, because that's my pussy. You don't remember you telling me that it was mine? And I'm like, see, I was just perping. Like, I don't want to say that I wasn't being real at that time, because technically I was only giving it to you, but technically it was always mine. I just was sharing it with you. But at the same time now, like, no. And he was like, but you told me this multiple times. Like, you told me I was the owner. Okay, guys. So listen, this is like I did tell the man that he was the owner. But the whole thing is that the reason why he said that he wouldn't let go of me is because he was the owner of this pussy. And I was like, no, that's not true. Like, you need to let go because you should be happy in your relationship. You shouldn't be hitting me up. And different things like that. And so I don't think that it was fair to me. And when me and him was talking, it was just like, oh, really? Like, yeah, really. I feel that way. You feel some type of way because I do if I don't. If I don't, I don't. And I really feel some type of way. But I really want you to stop talking to me. But at some point, I really can't get you to stop talking to me because you feel this way. And so this is what helped me learn about, hey, sometimes you bound yourself to things during sex. And so what happens was, if they need to speak from their throat chakra, they're going to keep coming around every Mercury retrograde until you deal with that one question, like, whose pussy is this? Because it's technically mine, bro. And so having that communication with him, telling him like, no, it was mine, and you know that, like, and I was just saying that to make sex be great. And now I don't want you to think that it is yours. I want you to know that it's definitely mine, and you have to respect my boundaries, okay? But in all honesty, was he wrong? Not really. You get what I'm saying? Like, he actually was right. But I mean, but he wrong because it's mine and we're done. And we're done, we're done. And so that's the thing that I want to help y'all out with, the questions that might come up. And it's so crazy because some of the guys I keep talking to, they're like, oh my gosh. So the one dude, he's like, oh, I was like, yeah, I'm working out. He was like, oh, so you getting that body right for me? I said, no. I get my body right for myself. Why I got to get my body right for a man? Why can't it be for myself? Why can't I love me for myself? Why can't it be for myself? And I have to repeat it that way because sometimes you say the same things to people and then they'd be like, oh, I don't hear. No, you heard me. You heard me. You just didn't want to take the answer I gave you, but you definitely heard me. So, guys, if you got them sexual toxic traits, and you dealt with certain people, you wonder why they keep coming around during Mercury retrograde, it's because it's what you used to say during sex, that you got to go back and unlive that question. Bring this question to life, take back your power, and then they won't be returning back. This is how that works, okay? This is Pretty Red ENT giving y'all some free juice about this Mercury retrograde that's in Capricorn. In the earth sign, and I love y'all. Sending so much love and light out to the world. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat. Y'all can follow me on, because y'all do know I be on Snapchat, and I'm on Snapchat more than any social media. So my Snapchat theme is, I think it's like Pretty Red ENT, and it has like 2 or 3 fire signs after it, like, oh my gosh, I love me. But that is my Snapchat. That's where I be at. So if you like want to be like involved in my personal life, then you can watch me on Snapchat. I don't really be on any other social media with myself, like my real public life besides Snapchat. But you can follow me on there, and thanks for tuning in. I will come back with like an energy update and different things like that. But that's the energy I get about this Mercury retrograde. Get ready, guys. If y'all not ready, get ready to speak your truth. And I thank you for tuning in. Boom.